Well, hello, and welcome to 606 Maine, a podcast about knitting, crocheting, and sewing. I'm Georgianne, your hostess, and I'm coming to you from San Diego, California, on this gorgeous Friday, May the 19th. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. If you're a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I hope you give us if you like what you're seeing, give us a subscribe on the little button over, right there. There's a little subscribe button and you can hit that and you'll get notifications of when I'm podcasting, which we're trying to do on a release date of every Friday with our store updates going on every Saturday, which brings me to where you can find me on the webs. I am StitchingPlaza at Instagram, Ravelry, and Facebook. You can find my Etsy store where I make beautiful project bags at www.stitchingplaza.com. And so we have no admin today, not yet, hopefully soon, but we'll just jump right into the old nitty gritty. If you noticed last week, we had a little bit of a technical problem with the sound. We have since gone out and bought a microphone, and I was refusing to wear the over-the-head headset and be an air traffic controller. So if this is working, I hope it is, give us a thumbs up to let me know that you're hearing us loud and clear. That would be awesome. The husband just came home. He installed the microphone for me, and so I'm ready to go. I've been holding off until he got here. It's a plug and play. I try not to get too involved in the technical side of stuff. I rather do the creative, and he does my podcast editing. He does all the, let's try it this way, let's try it that way. So I am totally happy that he's on my team. In fact, last night we have a couple of kits coming out in the next couple of weeks, and he picked up the machines and he's actually helping me. So who says guys aren't supportive? I never understood why some of my friends had to sneak their yarn purchase or their fabric purchase into the house. If it's your hobby and you enjoy it, go for it. He has his golfing, his bowling, his sports, and I hope I'm as supportive to his as he is to mine. He actually has converted me over to being a Cubs fan. I never had a baseball team that I liked. Being from New England, I'm sandwiched between the Red Sox and the Yankees, and neither of them really excited me. I just would cheer for whatever team was winning. And having been married now almost 10 years to a Chicagoan diehard Cubs fan, I couldn't have been happier when they went to the World Series and I watched him. So I guess I'm now a Cubbies fan. I'm also a Blackhawks hockey fan. Thank you, hon. And when it comes to football, I still am a tried and true New England Patriots fan. And it has nothing to do with Tom Brady. He will never change me from being a Cubby fan. It actually has to do with the one time I've gone to Gillette Stadium back when I lived in New England and saw the game. And I think I'm still holding on to my roots with that. He will cheer for the Cubbies, I will cheer with him, but when it comes to the Bears, I'm going to be Patriots all the way. So let's get into the knitting part of this, or the fabric and the goodies part of this. Finished objects. What is off my needles? I got nothing. I didn't finish anything. I was very proud of my 2 works last week. I got the Pure Joy completed, and I got my Zoom Zoom socks done. And I actually wore my Zoom Zoom socks the other day. It was about 62 degrees in the house the other night. I was under blankets. I snuck the heat on, and I had my socks on. So I'm very happy those were done. They were, like I said, they were going to be house socks, and they definitely held true. I do have a hoe for you though. If you have been watching, I was asked to test knit by Meg of Bad Wolf Girl Studios, a couple of her test dyes. So I actually have gotten a sock. Oops. Still learning the left and the right opposite here. So this is her Christmas 2.0 64-inch toe-up vanilla sock with all contrast toes, heels, and cuffs. It's a discontinued stroll with Stelina from Knit Picks. I think it's forest green or Christmas green. But if you take a nice look at it, oops, is that blowing out? I think you actually get a truer color back here. But it is done. It's going to be one of my socks. It's a nice lightweight sock. All my tails are woven in. I do a German short row heel on it. It's probably it's most probably a German short row heel with a twist of fish lips kiss heel as well. It kind of just is something I've memorized and it works for me. So to tell you how I do it, I really can't. But I'm happy it's done. Meg, the colors work beautifully. I definitely see this being more of a guy colorway as opposed to my colorway. So I'm going to be looking for your Christmas 4.0 with the bright colors on that for me. So that is my hoe for the week. And what is in my works in progress? I still have my fade. And could cast on the second sock. Haven't done that because I have been very naughty and I have been devoting most of my time, read that as all my time, to my granny stripe blanket for John. And that's my husband. And the last time you saw this, let's see, where's my stitch marker? I was here. I had just started. And I have done all this, which doesn't look that impressive, but when you consider the length is 5 foot by 5 feet 5 inches long, so it's actually taller than me. And look at all these colors. These are just minis that I've been collecting in swaps. I don't think any of these are socks that I've made yet, except the starter, which was done on a J hook. And that is in a Victory Gray. That was my beginning point on the fade, and also it was on heels, toes, and heels, toes, and cuffs of the Zoom Zoom 10.5 inch socks. But yeah, these I told him he was getting pinks, so there's the pinks. He's getting blues, and sadly, I'm enjoying this one more than I did that one, and I'm not sure why. I think when I'm making the magic ball, I try to alternate brights and lights against darks colors. So I would have some kind of I wasn't worried so much about the color, I was more worried about the tone. And being for a guy, I think I'm kind of getting away with it. So right now I'm in this dark mulberry gray, which really works great because I have this hot pink and purple right here. I don't know if that's really showing up as hot pink, but it seems to be working out better this time. And whereas this one, I was like, oh, I was just in a swap. Let me put all the yarns that I got into it for that and move along. This is the Attic 24 stitch pattern. It's free on Ravelry. And like I said, I'm really enjoying. I go for long periods of time without crocheting, and then I remember why I really love crocheting. The problem with this one is that it is big, and when I go out and I try to crochet on it, it's kind of cumbersome for me to work in the car on it while I'm waiting for somebody, or if I go to an event, it's harder to pull out. We were at an event last week and I pulled out the test knit socks for Meg's color, and it's a lot easier to pull that out of my wallet, my purse, than the blanket. And you may have heard me mention before that I actually bought my purse to accommodate my yarn knitting, and well, that's not going to work in there. So I need a new whip. I need a new project. I'm not sure if it's going to be more socks. I'm kind of thinking another shawl, but that brings me into dream knitting. So if a couple episodes ago I asked about what would you cast on for your perfect shawl or wrap. See, Amy, I call them wraps too. Amy from Periscoping Sisters, she does not call them shawls, so they're definitely wraps. I had in my stash this beautiful blue variegated. That is Baxter. He is being very protective of me this week. And then I have this really nice tonal gray. There we go. I think that picks it up. And I had asked you, my choices have been the Surge, or I think it's Lisa Munch, or doing a, let's see, Penrose Penrose tile shawl. And there is a link in the Ravelry group asking which one you think it should be, and I'll insert the two patterns here. Let's see, my right side is my Vanna White side, of which you think it should be. I don't know. I went out and I just bought ChowGoo interchangeable lace, and I got a size 8 and a size 7 for the 32-inch cable, 30-inch cables. I already had the 46-inch cables from when I finished up Pure Joy. I like the 2-color shawl, and I want to stay in the blue, but I got some stuff in the mail this week that is going to make it a little difficult, and I'll show that in a little bit. But if you go into Ravelry, and if you can help me out and let me know what you think, should it be a Penrose tile or the Surge, I would really appreciate it, because like I said, I need a new project. I'm also getting the itch to make some socks, so I might have to go some stash digging. My fear is once I start casting on socks, that's the only thing I'm going to cast on. And I also have another dream knitting. We have a baby on the way, like hopefully in labor right now. A good friend of mine, Deidre from Georgia, is a beautiful young lady who her husband Adam and she have been trying for many years to have a baby. And about 8.5 months ago, about 7.5 months ago, I got a really fun Facebook picture sent to me in my messenger, and it was not 1, not 2, not even 3, but 5 pregnancy sticks, all showing positive after several miscarriages. And I believe I was one of the first people that knew that we were going to be Auntie George and Uncle John. So I am waiting desperately for Deidre or Adam to tell me that we have a new arrival. And with that, I am going to make a, Tin Can Knits light, what is it? It's called the Light Flax, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. And I haven't started it. I'm waiting to see if we're having a boy or a girl. I'm not so much a traditionalist with pink or blue, but I would like to know if I should make it a dark gray, a light gray. And Deidre is definitely knit worthy. She got a pair of mystery socks a couple of years ago, and I know she's been taking really good care of them. But I also am thinking, because babies drool and spit up and do all those fun little things babies do, I'm thinking I'm gonna get a acrylic yarn from Michael's and just make it in that. And I will probably do a solid with maybe 1 or 2 stripes in the chest area, just so that it adds a little bit more color. So that is going to be for Mystery Baby. Please hurry up and come. Hopefully by the next podcast we will know who you are and get to meet you. I have seen so many cute, adorable pictures. I need to be a grandma. I need to be a grandma. I don't think our sons are going to make me a grandma, which is good. Son number 1 is very career driven and is working. He's been graduated from college for a year now, and he graduated and has gotten a job in his major, which is unheard of. I'm so very proud of him. He put himself through school. He went in with 1 degree, and we were hoping against hopes that he would change the degree into something that was a little bit more useful. He did. He went in with a marketing degree with a poli-sci background, a poli-sci and a communication background, and he's now working at the state at the state capitol in that field, so yay. And I don't want him to hurry up and get married and have babies, although I want babies. And son number 2 is still, although will be 22, he is still at the functioning level of a young teenager. And with autism, I'm in no rush for him to go out there. We're still in the process of getting all the services he needs and making things work for him. So it's going to be a long time. So I'm going to be grandma's vicariously. I will be Auntie George. I have a new neighbor. Our new neighbors have just had a little baby boy as of Monday, and I'm waiting to see him. And so I'm going to be able to spoil all these little critters. Baby socks and baby sweaters are going to be made. I'm also going to be very smart about this. I'm going to make the sweater. I'm thinking if babies are born in May, I will make the year-old size, so by the time winter comes, whether it's in Georgia or in San Diego, that they'll fit okay. You know, and then of course matching socks. Gotta have matching socks to go with your sweater, because when my little one was little, she wouldn't keep her shoes on. And I will never forget when we went to a restaurant, somebody just turned to me and went, "Where's her shoes?" Well, that little girl never liked shoes to begin with, and never had. So socks are definitely a must. So those are my 2 dream knittings, serge or Penrose and baby sweater. Those will be done. I'm going to start the sweater at least, do the neckline this week. I'm hoping, maybe. I'm still also learning how to have a conversation with myself and a camera. We're drinking water today out of our Stockinette Stitch mug and keeping hydrated. But it is a very interesting experience watching yourself on a camera, talking to yourself, pretty much babbling about a hobby you have great passion for and have always had great passion for, and hoping people are listening and what their thoughts are, and hoping that you get some feedback. So I'm trying. We're trying to get all the kinks out by the end of this episode. We've got, hopefully the sound's working good, the camera, the background, the lighting. Now it's just getting to understand. I don't know how some of these knitters who have podcasts do as much as they do. I watch my friend Meg of Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits, and the girl kicks out socks like crazy and shawls. And I'm like, she has the same 24 hours in a day that I do. What am I doing wrong? I want to be as prolific as she is, or I don't knit fast, and I crochet faster, but I don't knit fast. And I want to be faster. Is there a secret? I'm a thrower, maybe that's it. But let's move on, shall we? In the post, oh my gosh, I have had the best post days. Granted, I have not ordered anything, but I can share it with you. In the mail today, in the post today, let me just clean off some of this stuff. I received some beautiful, beautiful yarn from Tristan of, let's see, Dragon Horde Yarns, also as Fingers of Fury. She's also on a podcast with her mom, the Girls in the Yarn Cafe. Hi, Christy. Hi, Tristan. But this yarn is gorgeous. Whoops, I didn't want to show it to you yet. We started talking, I told you last podcast that we were going to do a kit together. And today we are releasing said kit. And it is Dead Men Tell No Tales, a Johnny Captain Sparrow kit. And there's our bag. And this is the sock to shawl bag. But here is the fantastic yarn that Tristan sent to go with it. And I don't know if the camera's picking up all those beautiful colors. Let's see if I can get closer. There we go. This is a gray, burgundy, and turquoise. It's on her fairy base. It's fingering weight with sparkle. It's 70% superwash, 25% nylon, and 5% stellina, 462 yards. And it is smushy goodness. Oh my gosh. And so I think this is oh yeah, that's definitely working better. That is a turquoise blue with some brown or black speckles. And look at that. Look at that. This is gorgeous. Oh, Tristan, oh, this is mine. I just love smelling yarn. I don't know why. I do love smelling yarn. But again, this is I love the superwash with the nylon. I'm petrified of just having pure superwash, even though it's supposed to not felt. I will probably find a way to felt it. So this is, but here's the kit. It is listed in my store, and again, this is a 50-50 kit. We have some in my store, which is www.stitchingplaza.com, and also she has it in her store, which is Fingers of Fury Dragon Horde Yarns. And her yarn's called Captain Jack Sparrow. So these are limited number. I don't think she said she was going to re-release it after the kits sell out. I do know that I had a lot of interest on Instagram with this. So that was my first yummy in the mailbox, and it's gorgeous. Thank you so much, so much. So there's that. And then I got this other yummy, excuse me. And this one came by way of, this will be also a kit, and we're going to be releasing this next week because the dyer is on vacation, but I want to give you a sneak peek. These are super limited quantities, and this is to go, you saw a sneak peek. This is the Wizard of Oz Defy Gravity Wicked Fiend bag, and we have Wicked Witch, we have for Glinda, we have Emerald City, and here is the amazing shimmer sock from Teeny Button Studios, and it's sparkling, 75 merino, 20 nylon, 5 stellina, 438 yards, and it's Defy Gravity. And there you go. We have this beautiful lime, mint green, red, browns and blacks, and with this kit, let's see if I can find it. Robin has included a really beautiful, let me see if I can take this off for you. That stitch marker, if it stops tingling. Broomstick. So you'll get the sock, the broomstick, and the bag for one price. And those will be in Teeny Button Studios as well as Stitching Plaza. And those are our 2 kits for the month of May. And like I said, we have been sewing and producing kits like crazy. We have 2 more kits coming out. The next one is going to be coming out with Meg of Bad Wolf. Let me just move those out of here. And that will be the Christmas in July. She's going to be starting selling her Christmas inspired yarns in June 1. We are also hosting my first knit along. I'm so excited, and I'm so happy it's with Meg. I met Meg purely by accident on Instagram and through Ravelry, and I feel like I've known her all my life, which is kind of hard because I'm like double her age. But she's a sweet girl. I asked her if she could show me the ropes on how to do a knit along. So she's going to be hosting the finished objects. I'm going to be hosting the chatter. You need to be participating in both groups, 606 Maine as well as Bad Wolf Girl Sits and Knits. We're going to open up the knit along on July 1. It's going to run through the end of August, and it's a way to get a jump on the Christmas knitting. Now, I don't need to respond, and I have no problem with it, except when I'm podcasting, of course. So, as I was saying, we are being both huge Doctor Who fans. she and I will be releasing a kit based on Doctor Who, and I gave you a sneak peek of that fabric last episode, based on Doctor Who and his ugly Christmas sweater. So those will be releasing, I believe we said June 15th, again 50% in each store. We're going to try to make it more quantity than we did before with our Rose in the TARDIS Way kit. I think we're going to be going for 20, 10 in hers, 10 in mine. But she just confirmed with me that she's might be re-releasing the yarn again in November, and I will again be releasing the bag in November. So if you miss out on the kit, that's something you might want to consider, but it will be a Notion bag, a project bag, and the yarn in the kit. I love working with Meg. She's, like I said, she's super talented, super smart, and just a good person. Hi, Meg. So that's where we're going with that. And then I do have let me just double check here. Yes, I do have a charity knit along or make along going on in my Ravelry group, and like I said, I'm a slow knitter, slow maker when it comes to the yarn, and I think that's because I spend a lot of time at the sewing machine, that the knitting has basically been about 9-10 o'clock at night as the cool down period, cuddling next to my husband, watching a little TV, and I'm not getting as much knitting for charity done as I want to. However, I feel strongly that I have to give back to the world in some way or another, whether it, and there's never enough philanthropy out there. And I know when my son was born, I was gifted a preemie blanket for my little boy, and I still carry that to this day. Well, not carry it, but I still have it. And I know what, as also fighting cancer, how difficult it is to be in a room that's cold and sterile and trying to bring your personality in when you're there for days and sometimes weeks on a time. So I discovered this one little project for sewers, and this is why I'm doing it as a make along as opposed to a knit along. And again, it's in the Ravelry group. And so I've been very busy taking fabric that doesn't seem to be doing so well in my shop and turning them into pillowcases for the pediatric ward on oncology. And so here, I just wanted to share a couple of samples, what I've been making and what I get to turn in this week. So these are for standard pillows. And this is out going through the group of Ryan Smiles, which used to be Cure for Cancer. And I think they wanted, from what I understand from talking to one of the founders, they wanted to make it more for all children. And in my opinion, we can never give enough to the kids. They're innocent little people who got hit with something and their family are going through some tough stuff. So if a pillowcase, a knitted preemie hat, can all a sweater, mittens, whatever you want to make, can brighten their day, I say go for it. So here's one. I had some Power Rangers, and I thought this would be, even though with the movie tie-in, I thought this would be better suited for kiddos than the shop. And we did some flowers, and of course you gotta have Olaf. So Olaf likes to be warm. Little wildlife and hugs and kisses, and those will be turned in this week. So there's details in the Ravelry group if you're interested in doing this. I will be giving away prizes on a monthly basis. Right now, I guess I win the monthly prize because I'm the only one doing anything. I'm not the only one doing. I'm the only one that's added anything to the list. I hope you come and join us. I definitely would love to see it. No goals, just if you make one preemie hat, you're entered. It's a monthly drawing. I hope you are as excited about giving back to the community as I do. Again, it's just something that I feel I don't have a lot of money to give to build a wing of a hospital, but I do have fabric that can brighten one child's life. I have yarn that I can make one preemie hat and warm one little head, and I hope you'll join me in on that. Enough said about that. So, just rotating the materials here. And now that marks the end of the goodiness with the yarn and the knitting, and I do have a shop update. We try to do shop updates every Saturday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, 12 Eastern Standard Time for you. And lately, I've been doing a lot of zipper bags, which seem to be great for when you're traveling. So let me just share a couple with you. These are ready to ship. I also have some I do have drawstring bags in the shop. I will be adding a option that you can have either a zipper bag or a drawstring, and the drawstrings normally, as you can tell, where are my drawstrings? The drawstrings normally are accent main fabric. On the zipper bags, I try to do backwards and make the main fabric the top with the zipper. It just really, it lays nicer on the fabric, and I'm not sure why I'm drawn to it. But this is this week's update, and we have sheep being knitted, or balls of sheep, I guess that we could call that. And these are in the large size bags, which are 13 by 13 by 5, and the 5 is a gusset on the bottom. And these do all stand up by themselves. They're lined so that they're nice and able to stand up. This is a Route 66. I love this one. It's got quilted fabric inside. I did not quilt the fabric in there. I'm trying to get into quilting. I have a feeling that if I start, it's another rabbit hole. I'm going to just fall down. And well, I already don't need. I spend enough hours crafting, and I have a feeling my husband may just say enough is enough. I have the Russian stacking dolls, which I think are absolutely adorable, and with a little lavender and teal, the other lavender. And I didn't notice this before, but they have a little bit of holiday motif. So if you want to get your holiday started, we have some holly and snowflakes. So that one was really cute. That was a surprise. And in case you're interested in being Wonder Woman, or all Wonder Women, with red, white, and blue inside. And these all come with a sheep charm as your zipper pull. And speaking of sheep, we have sheep in the fields. And I just think these are just so little, cute, and lovely. This might become a bag for myself. So those are in the shop now. Again, these are our large size 13 by 13 by 5s. We do still have our jumbo cozy memory blanket size that we have. And these are 15 by 17 by 6. I have a couple of those left in the store if you're interested. They're under $30. I think these are under $35, I believe. And then this one I didn't get a chance to finish, but I had to share this fabric with you. I've been making a lot of flowers and lacy and pretty lady, pretty feminine bags, and I wanted to make one for the guys that are knitting. So this is a barbershop with mustaches, so mustache. And if you're starting to get into the Christmas along and thinking for the holidays, this might be a good time to grab one for the guy that knits in your family. And I will be making a couple of those. I'm definitely doing a couple more masculine themes. Not saying that they won't be good for either gender, but I don't think a lot of my guy friends who knit would want the pretty pink and purple flowers. And maybe that's just the guys I knit with, but I don't know. With all that, I guess that brings us to general chit chat. And today's general chit chat was really inspired by KT of Inside 23, her podcast. She really touched something with me today when I was watching her. She was talking about body size and what we like and don't like about ourselves and how we're super critical. And it really made a good point with me. I have struggled with being a bigger girl pretty much all my life, and 3, maybe 4 years ago, I got down to what I considered my goal weight. Unfortunately, 6 months later, I found out I had cancer, and between the depression and the meds, I was no longer my ideal weight, and I have bounced back up to the size that I was prior to cancer, prior to losing it. And when I was listening to KT, and I have considered her a perfect, well, not so much perfect, but a thinner, younger version, and oh my gosh, well, she can make herself sweaters, and she can, whatever she sews, she looks fabulous in. And I realized at that point I was being very unfair to her and a lot of the girls that I was in class with when I was losing my weight. And I'm sorry, it's really not something that I wanted to be. Was sick, obviously. So after listening to KT and talking about perfect sizes, I realized I've never sewn or knitted myself anything other than socks or pajama bottoms, which are on the cutting table. But I don't think to make myself anything because it's not something I want to spend money on. And then I asked myself, well, if nobody else is worth spending the money on, shouldn't it be me? And that probably came out backwards. So I'm hoping that I can figure out how to edit all this. But I realized by not knitting or crocheting something for me in my size, I was only perpetuating this whole fat girl hides in the corner. So what I'm going to do this summer is I'm not going to vow to lose weight or run a marathon or anything like that. What I am going to do is I am going to get myself a sweater's worth of yarn, and I am going to make myself either a cardigan or a pullover. And I don't care if it's pointless and expensive, because I need to do something for me. And I guess what I'm trying to say in all this babbling is I want us to look at I hope we look at ourselves in a less critical way, because I know I am my worst critic, and I want to be a little bit more forgiving and more loving to myself. So if that's a bad trait, then I think I'm okay with having that one. I think it's time to stop blaming the cancer for what is in the trunk of the junk, or the junk in the trunk, however you put it. I think it's time to start liking me again. So with that said, I'm going to say goodbye. Saying goodbye is always very difficult on podcasts, but I wish you a very great week. I hope to have some cast-ons for you, and I want to say have a great time knitting, crocheting, and making whatever you do. Take care. Love you. Bye.